Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Droid Life Show today, episode 183. It's Friday, September 7th. I'm your host, Kellen. With me, Tim. Tim, say hi.
Hey, guys. How's it going? Tim here.
On today's show, there's actually not a ton to talk about, but there's a bunch of new phones on the horizon that we at least want to acknowledge, share some general thoughts there. We also do have trivia back. Google Play credit once again up for grabs. So if you're new to the show, end of every show, we do 5 trivia questions, award prizes to people who are tuning in live. So if you're tuning in live, thanks for joining us. But yeah, there's we're kind of in that in-between phase of tech news where we're waiting for Google to announce stuff. I think Apple's gonna is Apple announcing stuff next week? Is that happening next week?
You're asking the wrong guy. I don't know.
I feel like there's got to be an Apple event any day. It must be next week.
It must be, right?
It must be. So the Note 9's already behind us. Not that you should pass on, it's just behind us. Google's coming up. OnePlus 6T coming up. Samsung apparently is actually going to show off that foldable phone, Galaxy X or whatever the hell we're calling it. Razer Phone 2 confirmed. So some stuff. We have phones on the horizon, which usually doesn't happen this time of year. We always think that we're getting towards the end of everything. So, everyone says the 12th, September 12th. That is next week, right? That is next week.
Wow.
It's not that I purposely ignore the Apple beat. It's just this is that off year, right, for them. Like last year, we got the 8 and the 10. And now we're just getting rehashed versions of the 10, right? Like 3 of them or something. Like the iPhone XS, Razer Max HD Plus or something
Extra.
like that. Extra, yeah. So I'm sure they'll show off a new Apple Watch, which would be great. Which is probably why Qualcomm's hosting an event on Monday, because they want to get out just in front of whatever Apple's going to announce. So anyway, I don't know what else Apple's doing, but all right, let's talk about Android stuff. So Google Pixel 3 still not announced. It's only September 7th, and they announced that the date will be October 9th that they actually officially confirm the existence of Pixel 3, Pixel 3 XL. It'll be in New York, and in the teaser they did a little like I heart New York, and the heart was turned sideways, and of course a little top of the heart is a 3, so Pixel 3 heart 3, yeah. In case people didn't pick that up. So Pixel 3, Pixel 3 XL. I mean, like almost everything about these phones at this point. We've seen them in pictures, hands-ons, unboxings, reviews, whatever. So those will be there. And I know people aren't, when things start leaking like 3 months in advance, it kind of takes away some of the fun there. We're obviously still looking forward to it because we are big fans of Google's phones. What we won't be getting at this event is a Pixel Watch. Last week, Google told, I believe it was Tom's Guide, just after we got done with the show. I can't remember if we talked about the Pixel Watch on air last week or not, but like an hour or so after the show, Tom's Guide reported that there is no Pixel Watch. And a Google rep told them, and then I think another Google rep confirmed again to them. So if you were excited for a Pixel Watch, and if we talked about it last week, there's no Pixel Watch. It's kind of sad news. Google forever. Well, we've had Android Wear and Wear OS for what are we like 4 years, 5 years? How long has Wear OS been around? I feel like we should know. That'd be a good trivia question. Didn't we ask that in a trivia question?
Yeah, like what year was Android Wear announced? Probably.
Yeah, was that? I think we asked that last week. Actually, I should know that.
It was 2014.
14, I think. Either way, Google's never made its own watch, which has always been kind of weird. When they had the Nexus program, they had their own phones. Now they have the Pixel program, they have their own phones. From tablets, they had Nexus to the Pixel C. They've got their own line of Chromebooks. They've got Google Home. I mean, they make everything except watches. They even make terrible Pixel Bud wireless buds. So I don't know why they are still not making a watch. It seemed like the perfect opportunity, right? We're expecting Qualcomm to announce something big, a new chipset on Monday, and we think it's probably going to be a pretty big game-changing thing for Wear OS. At least that's kind of what we were led to believe back in May. So it seemed like a good time for Google to be like, all right, this is the time, new chipset. They just announced a new version of Wear OS last week. Here's our watch. This is what we think Wear OS should be. And instead they told Tom's Guide, no, we don't really know that it was almost like they said, we don't have an idea of what we want a watch to be still, except they're the ones that make the OS and are having partners. It's just very odd. And it's disappointing because I wanted one that matches, the aesthetic of like the Pixel phones. Might be kind of nice. I don't know. You're not as disappointed about this as me, are you?
I'm super bummed about it. Actually, thank you.
You seem super bummed.
The whole wearable thing, it's until I have a reason to believe that Wear OS is cool enough, then it's sort of I'm indifferent about it. I just don't really care because Wear OS, the change from Android Wear to Wear OS was like, okay, like new name, kind of like a new brand, new identity. Yeah. Maybe we're going to see some new features, but no, it's just more of the same. They're going to focus more on fitness and, this whole well-being thing. I don't care about my own well-being, so.
I'm excited for the new version of Wear OS because it actually does look different than what we've had. That has not started rolling out. I keep checking my watch just about every day, and that hasn't started. They said over the coming month, but I don't know if that means which watch first, what's going on. There wasn't a beta for this new version of Wear OS. Like this, I've still got this Huawei Watch 2 on, and it was a part of... Was it like a P? There was a P beta where they stripped out a bunch of features to try to preserve battery life, and then they got a bunch of pushback from developers, and then they had to backtrack and change that. It wasn't really, there was no change there. It wasn't this new UI. So no one's really used this or tested it. So I'm hoping that changes soon. But I'm excited for that part of it. But yeah, I am disappointed that Google still has not made it. Like, if you believe in your platform, this wearable platform, it seems like maybe you should have your own product to help push it along and go, look. I mean, that's what they used. That's what Nexus was for, right? Nexus forever was to showcase some sort of new feature with Android. Like, obviously it was to push stock Android. And then it was to usually push a new feature like NFC or wireless charging or LTE or whatever, right? They've often used in the past to push, and so it seems like a Pixel Watch might have done that. Like, hey, look, new version, new watch, new processor, here's some cool stuff. No, they didn't.
The closest thing we got to that, of course, was the LG made Watch Sport and the Watch Style. And those sort of felt like Nexus devices in a way, in a sense.
Yeah.
And they like the Watch Style was like okay in terms of style, but like the Watch Sport was a freaking tank mammoth.
Yeah, it was.
And like, so like the hardware just has not been good enough, at least in my eye lately, to kind of warrant any hype for Wear OS.
Right.
I still miss the OG Moto 360 or the OG Huawei watch. Like, I just miss the old stuff that looked kind of like futuristic, especially the Moto 360. But we haven't seen anything like that. So until then, until I see some hardware I want to wear,
What we need to have happen is when this new chipset comes out, we need Motorola to go take that original 360 design. We'll get rid of the little flat tire, put a full display, but that same design, right? And re-release it with the new chipset. And you could do that because that's what watch people do. Like, look at Rolex. They've made this same watch for 50 years. I don't know, it's probably been longer than that. But, like, you can still get a Submariner. You can still get a Daytona. Like, they don't change. They do some subtle tweaks. But it's almost the same exact watch. They just re-release it, do a couple little tiny things. You probably can't even tell the difference. Put a new date and serial number on it, right? There's no reason that Motorola or somebody couldn't do that. Like the original Huawei watch, one of the best Android Wear watches ever, right? Why doesn't Huawei they could re-release that with a new processor, upgrade the internals a little bit? I don't know. I don't get this idea of like it has to be a brand new watch that you've never seen before and all this stuff. Like, well, no, that's not how watchmaking typically works. Like you have iconic designs and you just refine them or make them better. But it'll probably never happen. Motorola will come up with something terrible if they ever do, and Huawei will disappoint or something. But
yeah. Well, Lenovo's in charge now, so Ain't nothing coming out of that.
That's true. But if you look at the Apple Watch, we're on 4 now. Apple Watch 4, 3. I can't keep track of that. They all look the same. So Apple understands that with a watch, it doesn't have to be this dramatic redesign. Like Huawei kind of got screwed by that. They did the original Huawei watch, which everyone loved, and then they tried to change it up and they went with that sport one, and then they made this classic one, which I like the look of this one, but they were drastic departures from that original that everyone liked so much. So I hope some of these companies will maybe revisit maybe some of their old designs, because the newer modern tech, like a new chipset or better heart rate sensors, these could actually make those watches great again, Tim. They could.
Oh, okay.
slip that in there. Where is Donnie? I don't see him back there. Is he right next to the bear?
He's next to Barry. Okay. As Chris and Don in the chat are saying, the Skagen Foster 2, yes, that is a devilishly handsome timepiece. However, it's running a 2.5 some odd year old processor, which you do not want to buy right now. So quite unfortunate for them and for us, because we are limited, very limited in the hardware we can buy right now, just because we know literally in a day or two now. I forget what the date is today, the 4th or something, but on
Today's
the 10th.
The 7th, on the 10th.
Yeah, Qualcomm's going to give us some new. So you don't want to buy the old. You want that new.
Yeah, unless you see like a crazy deal on something for $150, just wait. Just wait until Monday.
Yeah.
All right, so no Pixel Watch. Other than that, the event and the Pixel 3 is somewhat of a mystery. I think maybe a Google Home smart display unit could be there. Maybe new Pixel Book, which I think we've talked about. No, there isn't really information out about those other than the new Pixel Book a little bit, like slimmer bezels, upgraded chips, maybe a fingerprint reader. I don't know. Back on the Pixel 3, though, for a second. Right after the show last week, both phones showed up at the FCC. So we're like moving towards launch. So Pixel 3, Pixel 3 XL showed up at the FCC right after we did our show last week. So we have model numbers. What's interesting for those of us who geek out on this sort of stuff is they were filed to the FCC under Google's FCC ID, which means these are like the first Google made phones. I mean, they obviously contracted by Foxconn or whatever the report on that is. But in the past, like last year, LG filed the docs for the Pixel 2 XL because they built that. And HTC, the Pixel 2, and then the Pixel and Pixel XL, HTC filed those also. So these are the first phones under Google's FCC ID, which is sort of significant. I mean, again, you have to geek out about little nerdy stuff like that, but Google did submit all of that stuff rather than HTC and LG or whoever else has made their phones in the past. So that happened. Then over the weekend, somebody left a Pixel 3 XL in a lift, just jumped out of the lift, dropped it in there. Driver was like, hey, I know what that is because it's leaked everywhere. Took a little pic, sent it to Android police, then called the guy and said, look, bro, I got your phone. Gave it back after he had sent pictures of it. So these things just keep popping up. Also on Friday after the show, I think it was XDA. Yeah, XDA posted up. So there's this rumor. I shouldn't say it's a rumor. So XDA has reported in the past that there's going to be a Google Pixel stand, and it could be a wireless charging stand, or who knows, maybe you have to dock the phone in it. Either way, the idea of the stand is plug your phone in or set it on the stand, and then it shows you kind of a smart Google Assistant UI that you can just like reach over and touch or talk to it, kind of like a smart display in a way. And they posted a picture of what they believe to be what that UI will look like. And so it kind of does look like a miniature version of a smart display. Like it's got your weather, it's got send some suggestions on what you could do, like play music, make calls, read messages, set timers, or whatever. I'm excited about that. And I don't really care about the wireless charging stuff, but I think it'd be cool to actually have a stand where the idea is to get you to use your phone in that capacity, where I can like look over and just shows me the weather, or I can look over and tap on read my messages, or tap on play music or something like that. Or I can just talk to it, obviously. But I think that kind of idea, rather than just putting your phone on a wireless charger and it just charges and that's it, and then you have to like wake it up and swipe around to get into stuff, I think like a special UI like this, it's actually a pretty good idea.
I agree. I don't know if you mentioned, but something I'm really looking forward to at this Google event. Now, you did mention that they have the sideways heart that's a 3. What is a 3 if not 2 U's? Kind of, if you chop it in half. I'm expecting the Pixel Ultra to be announced on October 9th, 2018.
Yeah, well, you never know, right? Because you're right. If you keep spinning that 3 upside down, and then
turns into a middle finger.
And then cut it in half. Yeah, then it's a middle finger, which Google is saying to everyone who's making fun of their notch, and then a couple of. So what Tim's referencing is the YouTube conspiracy theories have risen, and they're out in full force. So right now, you can just get on the YouTubes and search for Pixel Ultra. I mean, there are YouTubers that will have you believe that this has all been a giant hoax, that Google created a product with this giant notch, Pixel 3 XL. And then they sent that out to Russia and the Ukraine and to a Lyft driver and to Toronto and to some guy who was testing a prototype. And then took everyone's reaction, which was, that is the ugliest thing I've ever seen, and went, ha ha ha, we're just tricking you. We want you to hate our product so we can bamboozle you into believing this, and then we'll show you the real one. And that's what's happening on the internet right now. So yeah, I wouldn't believe that. I don't think I would believe. Never mind the fact that Pixel Ultra was created a year ago, right before the Pixel 2, where another YouTuber got duped with some fake BS about an Ultra Pixel is what they called it. And then Google kind of trolled everyone at the Pixel 2 event with like this calendar thing that said like Pixel Ultra secret meeting. And now the YouTube conspiracy theorists are running wild that it exists, even though there's no evidence that there's another phone or anything called a Pixel Ultra. They've just like gone, oh no, Google showed it on stage, so it's totally real. Oh man, got an entire piece about this too. If you're interested, if you're listening to this and want to read about it, I wrote it all some thoughts up on that. No, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a Pixel 3 and a Pixel 3 XL, and we've seen them both. They will be shown on October 9th in NYC, those two phones. There won't be a Pixel Ultra or a no-notched Pixel 3 XL. I mean, we're logistically speaking, we're at the point where these are final designs. I don't think there's like a special one that they're gonna go, ta-da, we got you. I don't think that's gonna happen.
It's a little too much.
Yeah, it is a little too
fishy.
much. Mm-hmm.
Not big on the old conspiracy theories, but
No,
people are having their
really
fun.
either.
I saw someone who's kind of peddling that storyline was just like, "Hey, man, we're just having fun." But no,
Of course,
it's like
yeah.
you're kind of taking it a little step too far sometimes. But
Yeah, I mean, when you make like 4 videos on the same subject and you go, well, we're just throwing some ideas out there. I don't know. And it's like Pixel Ultra, Pixel, it's all fake. Google's duped us. I mean, like you're beyond just having fun with this, right? Like you're spreading this news around all in the name of fun. No. So anyway, that's what's going on, everyone. Tim just confirmed it though. Pixel Ultra, that 3 is really just Google. It's really just Google tricking you into believing 3, but it's really like a double U for Ultra.
Yeah.
Ultra.
something. It's gotta be.
It's been a hilarious morning though. I mean, I do love this stuff because it's just it's entertaining. It's entertaining. My favorite thing about conspiracy theories is that they're never there to actually prove to you that it's true, right? It's like they just want you to sort of believe and sow some doubt. So then you go, whoa, wait, maybe Google is trolling everyone. And then you start finding things that try to legitimize that, even if they don't actually do that. I love it. And the conspiracy guys never actually just go all in, because they don't. They always want to go, no, but I said like with a grain of salt. It's like I watched the Ultra Pixel video again that was released last year, and the guy went from He goes, now, just take this with a pinch of salt. However, they do look legitimate. I mean, that was like his sentence. Like it went from take these with a pinch of salt. However, they look legitimate. What do you mean? Are they legit or is it not legit? Like there's no like, just a sprinkle little salt bay out here. It's legit. It's legit. I mean, like what? Oh, God. Anyway,
people.
October 9th, Pixel 3 XL. They're coming. They're coming.
Oh, Salt Bay.
Salt Bay just made an appearance on the Deal Show. Oh, my God. All right. So, no Pixel Watch, though, which is sad.
Damn.
Yeah. I just can't wait, though, till next year the Ultra Pixel is back again. Someone will come up with the Ultra Pixel again. Remember. Okay. And somewhat surprising news. Like, actually, I can't tell if this is surprising or not, but Samsung, their mobile president, DJ Ko, he sat down with CNBC, I believe, and he said, look, we're finally ready to show off our foldable phone, which they've kind of been working on for a long time. I think was there initially some rumors that said it might come out this year? I can't remember. I feel like there was, yeah. And then we've kind of heard nothing or seen very little. He actually said to CNBC, though, we're going to show it off this year. I don't know that you're going to be able to buy it this year, but their developer conference is early November, and pretty sure they're going to show it off there. I don't know if that means like, what do you think? Do you think it's just going to be a concept? Like, look, this is kind of where we're at, or do you think this is an official product? My gut kind of goes, they're going to show us something that they've been working on. Like, this is how it's going to work. And then they won't announce it until, like Galaxy S10 time. And like, maybe, I don't think it'll replace that line, but maybe they'll wait till then and actually, I don't know. Like, do you think we're actually going to get a real looking phone to like play with at that point?
Probably not. I would think we're just going to see like prototypes or of some kind, like, and like various prototypes. Like, here's everything we've sort of been working on, which will then lead up to like some big announcement. I mean, we've heard reports, that this phone, whatever this thing is going to cost a significant amount, like $1,500.
Yeah.
So it can't necessarily, or it can't exactly just replace Galaxy S10 or whatever, Galaxy X. So I don't know what they're going to do next year with the naming stuff, but
right, because this thing's rumored to be Galaxy X, but we're at S10, so yeah, we got two 10s going on. Yeah,
very confusing.
It is,
but either way, I'm pretty excited. I know you and I at least have been sort of saying, well, this whole glass and metal thing's getting sort of dull. Like they've reached the pinnacle, the peak of this design. The glass and the metal. Like, where do you go from here? So maybe you start folding it. I don't know. Maybe you just cut down the bezels even more. I don't know. But I spoke with a Sony rep not too long ago here in Portland, actually, and they said, yeah, I mean, they have big plans for the next Galaxy S10. So hopefully it's not going to look too similar to what we've seen already. Hopefully it looks a little different. So either way, I'm excited. I'm just excited for something different.
Yeah, I think I am too. He did mention, as he was talking about it, that I'll just read his quote. He said, you can use, well, this doesn't make sense. You can use most of the uses on he says you can use most of the uses on foldable status, but when you need to browse or see something, then you may need to unfold it. But even unfolded, what kind of benefit does that give compared to the tablet? If the unfolded experience is the same as the tablet, why would consumers buy it? So I have a little bit of problem with that because I actually think it just folding into a tablet makes a lot of sense. Like you have this folded I guess it depends on how small the folded version is, right? And how much you can use. Because if it's folded, there's obviously got to be some sort of interface you can play with or use. And then if you unfold it to a bigger, but okay, so that's the thing. Is it going to unfold into tablet size, or is it like pocket size unfold to phone size? He kind of makes it sound more tablet-ish, but I think my thought is you have a normal phone when it's folded, and then you unfold it because you want more screen. And so a tablet, what do you use a tablet for? To play games, to watch videos and content, maybe to do some Dex stuff. he's like, it shouldn't just be turned into a tablet. Well, I mean, like, why not? Then you don't have to buy it. Because he made the argument like consumers would just buy a tablet. Well, no, I'll have a phone that folds into a tablet. Then I only have one device. I actually think that's not a terrible idea, but he seems to think that's a bad idea. He sells more devices than I do, so maybe he has an idea there.
That's true. That's a good point.
I'm with you, though. I'm actually excited for this one. As little excitement as most Samsung's devices generate for me, this one, it's different, and I'm ready for something different. I mean, we're doing phone conspiracy theories these days because I think people might be a little bored. So, if we got a foldable phone that does... Well, what's kind of cool too is we don't know anything about it, how it'll work. There's some patents out there that kind of show some foldable action going on. We don't know what Samsung has planned. Like how much you're going to be able to do when it's folded, and then how unique or cool is unfolded. So I'm actually kind of excited.
Yeah.
I know people are saying tablets died a long time ago in the chat, which I totally get. But if you had a phone that just gave you some of the benefits of the tablet, like a bigger screen, that's actually kind of cool. I would totally take that. Like if I was sitting on my couch and using my phone, oh, here's a sweet Droid Life video I want to watch. Unfold it. Yeah, just whoop. And then I can watch. So kind of exciting. But that's this year. So November is 2 months away. So about 2 months from right now, they will apparently be ready to show it off. He said it's ready. So we're finally ready to show this thing off. And it's been rumored for 4 years, something like that. A long time. All right, we got a supposed, this is completely unverified, by the way, OnePlus 6T leak. It is a retail box of what could be the OnePlus 6T. And so the box is worth mentioning because, well, it says OnePlus 6T on the side of it, but inside of it, there's an imprint or an outline of what the phone could look like. And it looks like that Oppo R17 phone that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, which is an all display front with this tiny little teardrop notch for the front camera. And then it shows a sort of a picture for a in display fingerprint reader. So if this, and by the way, this is what the Oppo R17 looks like. Like it has that little teardrop. It has the in display fingerprint reader. So if this is the real deal, I'm excited. The OnePlus 6 is a great phone. I mean, we've talked at length about the camera not being the best, but it's good. And the rest of it is really good. If this phone goes with the tinier notch, which is kind of more like an essential notch, and then throws in that in-display fingerprint reader, because that would remove the fingerprint reader from the back so you get that super clean back. I'm super excited because it'll have Android Pie really soon. Like you got Android Pie up and running on the 6 that you have this week. Like we know that's coming. Bring it on, OnePlus. October, right? That's when T-Mobile's supposed to carry it.
Yeah, I know you already wrote up a large piece talking about, oh, this phone is going to be hard to say no to. Well, because you wrote that, I just have to assume there's going to be something terrible about this phone that no one's going to want.
It's just like the Pixel Ultra is real now, yeah. Because I wrote up that it's not. Yeah, it's true. So the Pixel Ultra is real, and the 6T is going to suck because I said the opposite of both. Yeah.
This phone, this would be the first for an American device, a U.S. device at least released here, that will have the in-display fingerprint reader. So automatically you couple that with the super minimal notch and just probably like a gorgeous design that is the Oppo R17. That's a good looking phone. So if that's the OnePlus 6T, then I'm going to be super pissed at OnePlus for even thinking that they should sell the OnePlus 6. Man, what a slap in the face to all of your customers.
You do it every year.
I know. And now I will never, ever recommend anyone buy the first model phone in a year. Wait for the T. T. Like, this is effing ridiculous. This is a huge change. This is like the biggest change from the regular to a T. So I'm pissed. But hey, it's fine. If you were waiting, or maybe if they offer some type of trade-in program, some type of credit, then that's fine. But man, I'm also too very excited about this phone. We had a chance to play with in-display fingerprint reading tech from Qualcomm with I think it was Vivo.
It wasn't Qualcomm's, it was Synaptics, I believe.
Oh, excuse me, Synaptics. And it
I don't
was
know
awesome.
that Qualcomm's actually done anything with theirs. Like, I don't know that we've seen them use theirs or anything. Anyway.
Yeah, I totally
Which is
meant
weird.
Synaptics.
I figured they would have.
Yeah. But we used it. It was fine. If this is the same tech that's going to be. So, Damien Holgwin in the chat says, beers on me, and donated $20. Damien.
What the heck?
Thank you so much, man. I
You
got
guys
so
and your
drunk.
like Friday donations. You guys are nuts. Thanks,
Yeah.
Damien. That's really appreciate that. And yes, we should just start bringing beer on the show. Although our show's usually so early, not that really matters. But
It's 12 o'clock.
next time I'm gonna bring a beer, but like right there,
Yeah.
just in case. Really appreciate that, Damien. Thanks so much, Damien. Sorry.
I got some. I mean, we could take a second. Like, what beer are you like? What's your kind of go-to brew right now?
Pretty much anything that Block 15 makes right now. So it's fresh hop IPA season here in the Northwest. So Block 15 just like specially canned their fresh hop IPA, and it's stupid good. And happened to get like one of the last 4 packs at local beer store over here. So I got that in the fridge.
There you go. I got. I'm not an IPA fan at all, but Lost Coast Brewery down in Humboldt County, California, they make a white IPA called Sharkinator. And I have loved it. It's so great. It plays on the Great White.
I was gonna say, what's the Great White? Is that
That's a white Belgian.
Oh, it's a Belgian. Okay.
Yeah. So a white IPA that I just love. It's kind of citrusy, but it's still an IPA. It's kind of pretty rough for me, but I do enjoy it quite a bit. So
Yeah, you
Sharkinator.
love their beer.
It just reminds me of home. So.
Damien says he seems to be drinking them New England IPAs. I do love me some hazy IPAs. Have been drinking plenty of those. I'm getting a little burnt on them. Like Modern Times opened up a spot in Portland and they sell a ton of those, and they're great, but they also probably have like 700 calories in a 16 ounce. Cut back a little bit there. Anyways, thanks Damien for that donation. Very nice.
Cheers, Damien. Also in that box, which sort of just lended a little bit of credit to maybe this being like a legit thing. So inside of the box, you have what appeared to be usernames. And so I did some research of my own. Some of the ones that I could actually read that were legible. I took them, plugged them into the OnePlus forums, and come to find out they're actual OnePlus forum usernames.
Yeah.
So, hey. Well, that was kind of cool.
There's a message in the box that says, hey, we couldn't have built it without you. So it's like a thank you to all their readers or all their longtime supporters. It is kind of cool. So
it is very cool.
If real.
Very nice.
It's going to be
if
good.
Real.
And I'd imagine, look, they'll jack up the price a little bit. That's what OnePlus does. They do $20 to $30. Typically from the first phone release that they do in the year to the second, when they do the T version, it's been $20 to $30 increase. So what's the 6 starts at $529, I think. So you may get a base 6T of $549, $559. Still pretty reasonable, especially when, like the Note 9 just dropped for $1,000. So as everyone else gets more expensive, OnePlus does too, but they're still more reasonably priced. So
I'm boycotting them. It's ridiculous. If you own a OnePlus 6, sorry, real quick, just a shout out to anyone who currently owns a OnePlus 6. Sell it. Sell it while you still can. Get a little bit of money back so you can afford this thing, because this is probably just going to be way better. So just do that.
It's going to be sweet. I mean, if you're a notch hater, it's just going to have a little teardrop notch. You're barely even able to see it.
I know. This is
barely
great.
There. It's going to be
great design.
You're running the Android Pie beta for the OnePlus 6. How is
Correct. So far, super nice. Very smooth. I mean, I was running the developer preview build, so everything that was in here. Oh, well, the first build was really bad. Second build was totally usable.
Okay.
But I mean, so this hasn't changed much in terms of the UI. It's just a lot more stable. But it's very similar to what you would find on a Pixel, minus all the OnePlus, the Oxygen OS tweaks with the customization for the themes and all that good stuff. I mean, the camera's not, sublime by any means still, but very usable device, and as you know, it's affordable and it's good fun.
As someone pointed out to us, so Tim made a video yesterday that kind of does an overview of this Android Pie beta, and he went into the different navigation options, and there's the Google version, the pill gesture thing, and then there's their gestures, and then there's just the standard back home app switcher. And you showed them all up, but somebody pointed out to us, I think on Twitter or something, was like, did you think it was funny that they won't call Google's gesture, they call it like home back or something like that? Like, because OnePlus has its own off-screen gesture UI or navigation, and they labeled it as like home back or something. Google's new one, like, there's no respect there at all. Google's is apparently not gesture anything.
Well, I mean, Google's is so wonky. Like, even on the Pixel, like I can hardly get used to it. It feels, just because, and especially on this phone, when I first enabled it from the OnePlus gesture navigation option, there's just something super funky about it. And OnePlus is just way more intuitive. It feels like, there's something about where you kind of swipe up and then use the pill to drag around. Like, it's just, I don't know. Maybe I just haven't gotten used to it yet, which is totally possible. But there's something a bit better about OnePlus's. So I don't necessarily mind OnePlus throwing a little bit of shade at Google, because it's not great.
It's not that great. Although I will say with Google's, one of my favorite things they did was that little swipe to the right that takes you back just to the previous app. I do actually use that all the time. When I'm jumping between apps, I swipe to the right often. I think that's a great little gesture. The rest of it, I mean, we've talked about how it's just the swipe up thing into the apps, which is just still kind of awkward. I still haven't gotten used to it, but
yeah. Scott in the chat's telling me I just have to get used to it. It's fine, apparently. So
yeah,
I'm wrong.
I've been using it for a really long time on this and the Essential phone, so I'm pretty used to it at this point. I still don't really love it. I still would prefer a gesture for the back also. Oh, speaking of that, so I've had a bunch of people mention to me that Xiaomi's gestures are way better than everyone's. And so I fired up the Mi Mix 2S that I have the other day. Finally got it off that Pi beta, whatever preview thing that just was broken as hell. Because they released a Pi version with their MIUI skin on it. Oh, first of all, John in the chat just dropped his $10. Says more beer. John, thank you. You guys. We just appreciate you guys tune in, but I mean, we also appreciate that we'll go buy a beer, but that's very, very nice.
Thank you,
so
John.
much for that.
You guys are the real MVPs.
You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy.
You guys are crazy.
Thanks so much. So anyways, people have told me the Xiaomi's are really good, right? So I flashed there's like a beta, I think like it was XDA posted the Xiaomi Mi Mix 2S beta of whatever with their MIUI on top. So I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot and play with it for a couple days. I didn't hate all of it. The notification thing with these Chinese phones I've played with, still, I do not understand. I just don't get notifications. However, I did enable their gesture UI or navigation because everyone's like said it's the best. So how it works is you swipe up to go home, and then you swipe up and hold to get to the app switcher. But if you want to go back, you have to pull from the left side of the display and do kind of a swipe. So it's kind of like Apple's back gesture. So it kind of works, except almost all of Google's apps, and if you want to swipe out the side menu, you swipe from the left side. So I was in, I think, Google Play Store or Inbox or something, and I kept swiping to try to open that to switch accounts or something. It was like, no, we're going back. Yeah, so in order to do it, I had to reach up above like the top half of the screen, and then I could swipe it over. And I was just like, that is just too much of a pain in the ass. So whoever said Xiaomi's is the best, I don't think it's the worst, but that back from the edge thing, that doesn't work.
That's not going to do it.
No. So anyway. Let's see. Razer Phone 2 confirmed that it's actually coming. That's, well, I have never touched the Razer Phone 1. It looked okay. I know they were one of those companies, kind of like Essential. They released this phone and they had to then do a whole bunch of updates to get it like another Corbin. Corbin just dropped his $5 in the chat. Thank you so much, Corbin. It's all beer. You guys just think that like all we do is drink. Well, okay, we drink a lot of beer, but
I drink a lot of Hendrix martinis. I mean, there's, we have varying tastes and all that. Now we can get food with our drinks. So this is, thank you guys.
You guys are crazy. Thanks so much, Corbin. Appreciate the $5. So Razer Phone, I feel like they were kind of like essential. Like they released their first phone ever. It's the first time they've ever done it. So there were some issues. Like the camera was, I think, wasn't the camera on the Razer Phone possibly as bad as the Essential Phone camera? It was pretty bad.
No, it was a little better.
A little bit better. Okay, that's true. The Essential Phone's camera was pretty bad. So, but they fixed it and they've improved some of that stuff. So I don't really know that much about it. The phone was way too big for me, and I don't do a lot of phone gaming. However, they said in their earnings that the first one was enough of a success that they're like, yeah, no, we're full go with the Razer Phone 2. You got to be excited about that.
Super pumped about it. Praying that we get some different hardware, though. You know, obviously the Razer Phone was just a larger Nextbit Robin, which is the company they purchased, acquired, and then based their smartphone on their hardware. A little bit bigger, but awesome display. Again, 120 hertz refresh rate. I mean, it had the Snapdragon 835, which at the time was the best. Crazy large 4,000 milliamp hour battery, dual stereo speakers that were like super loud. The Razer phone's pretty kick ass, and I'm pretty excited for number 2. Hopefully they've got some new hardware. As far as I know, the folks from Nextbit are still with them. Like, they haven't been let go or anything. So, although Scott Croyle, the designer, he is gone.
He is gone.
So, yeah. So we'll see what happens, but I mean, it's got to be good. I mean, the original was pretty darn good. So if they refocus maybe a little bit on the camera, pun intended, it could be a pretty darn good phone. Right now, if you didn't already know, you can get the Razer Phone, the OG Razer Phone, which was only from November of last year, for $399, which is $300 off. So that's not a bad price. I mean, it's still
only. I think
it might be today only. I don't know.
So if you're listening, or if you're listening live, or if you listen to this today, Friday, September 7th, and you want a Razer phone, be quick. But there's a code. It's like Woohoo. Woohoo.
WooHoo. WOOHOO. Woohoo.
Yeah, and they'll give you $300 off.
That's not bad. It's a solid phone.
They're still the only company really doing 120 hertz, right? Has anybody else adopted that yet? I mean, I think, isn't one of the iPads a higher refresh rate like that? I thought one of the iPads was.
It would be the Pro, but I don't think the Pro is.
I thought one of them was. But either way, for Android phones anyway, it's the only one I know of that's doing it. So I'd imagine they'll bring that back. Somebody in the chat mentioned make it OLED and 120 hertz. I mean, maybe. I don't know if somebody hasn't created an OLED that they could do at 120 hertz, but either way, it's pretty sweet.
The other companies that are trying to get into this, I mean, they sort of created a new category, and Asus is trying to get in on that with the Republic of Gaming phone, the ROG phone, Rogue phone, whatever. And I think that one's only 90 refresh rate. So something Razer's doing here is pretty darn good. Brian in the chat says iPad Pro does have higher refresh rate of 120. Yeah, it's iPad Pro. Who's got $3,000 to spend on an iPad?
Yeah, the gaming phone is a new taken off thing. Somebody else besides ROG and them are making one too. Maybe it's Xiaomi. I can't remember. There's at least another player or two. I do like the design of the hardware because it's so slim, that first Razer phone. So I know you probably want something a little more exciting. That's not really their style though, right? They like the black with the like neon green or whatever. Somebody, wish I knew offhand who it was. I saw on Twitter somebody said that the Razer Phone 2 might have the like chroma LED effects that they put in all of their stuff. That could be kind of cool.
That could be dope. Some chroma lighting. I mean, that's just something to up the price for, I don't know. I mean, it's just some LEDs, it can't be that, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean where would they do it? In the notification possibly, or maybe in the back logo? But yeah, that's just going to sip battery and stuff, right?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, a lot of phones already have blink, LED notifications. So if they just make it a chroma, which is capable of any number of colors, I suppose, I guess that'd be cool. Not a reason to buy it.
I guess it's not that big of a change. Yeah, you're right. Because a lot of phones have had colored. Remember when was it the Nexus, Galaxy Nexus that had the bottom colorful one? And it was one of those things like that you'd install those apps to change the color of it. I guess that was fun.
Daniel in the chat says gaming phones are pretty much useless, though. I mean, not for mobile gamers. I don't know. They're sort of. sort of useful.
Well, the problem is you have phones like the Note 9 that have everything and more than this Razer phone. Outside of the display, it doesn't have 120 hertz refresh rate on the display, but it's got the same processor and as much RAM and all that. It's got good speakers, maybe not quite as loud as the speakers on that. I think it's tough to stand out as a gaming phone unless you do like that ROG and just design it like the ugliest phone ever. Then you stand out and go, look, we're a gaming phone. And Razer's looks like Razer's, but there's not a whole bunch of extra done to it, is there? To make, other than the display is a standout feature. I'm not sure what else. I think that's possibly what he's getting at.
Well, the display and the speakers were pretty much sort of like those two, and the 4,000 milliamp hour battery. And I understand the Note 9 has that too. However, it is, at least today, only $600 more. So I don't know. I mean, if you just, So I mean, they're pretty. It was a cool phone when I reviewed it, and I'm looking forward to the potential of reviewing a second one.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think they'll really start to fix some of the issues they had with that first go. All right, so in app-related news, we are getting a lot of dark modes. Are you excited for the wave of dark modes into all apps these days? Like YouTube finally went dark this week. Finally, 5 months later after we were told it was coming soon. Android messages finally re-rolled out to everyone as of yesterday. Their dark mode. We're getting a dark mode in the phone app. We'll probably get one in the contacts app. We're getting dark modes everywhere. I've turned most of them on, I think.
Oh yeah, I want dark mode Gmail like yesterday.
Do you want dark mode Google Photos? Because it's pretty white. Does that make the photos stand out? I take dark mode Google. Yeah, I don't know if that. I think they kind of blend. Like when I open a gallery app and there's black bars on top of the photo I'm looking at, I don't really love it.
I use like the Samsung app was a pretty decent example of that, only because when you apply a theme inside of that app, I'm pretty sure that app gets themed. And so right now I have a darker theme on the Galaxy Note 9. And so of course my gallery app is sort of darkish. And it's totally fine, totally usable, but I don't necessarily know if I need like a dark mode everything. But
the thing is, Google just keeps going whiter and whiter with all these things.
I know. It's so white.
I think I would take it in Google Photos. I would take it really though in Google News. I would take a grayish theme. Because Google News is pretty. All their apps these days are white as hell. What I wanted to point out though was that Android messages, when the update started rolling out yesterday, finally everyone got received dark mode. I just went on the Play Store and went into the reviews. It's just flooded with 1-star reviews because Google took away the custom colors for their conversations and contacts in there, and then they also took away the widget, and people are pissed, and people are like, I don't care about dark mode, I'm pissed. Like, I was surprised. I thought everyone was just gonna be excited that they got dark mode, but people were really mad. I was not expecting that.
Users out here getting ready to cut Google.
It really
taking
was.
Away their color bubbles.
It was that kind of level of hatred. So,
and a lot of people were saying it looked a lot like iOS messages or Apple message, and I was like, wow. And then they say they specifically bought that phone not to have the iOS experience. You don't buy a phone specifically for that, do you? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah,
just install a new app if you want a different messaging experience.
Seriously. I'm gonna cut you, Google.
Oh yeah, there were some fierce people in there.
Some people did appreciate it though, and then when we referenced that people were having a bad time, they told us to speak for ourselves. Expletive.
Yeah, I saw a couple of those.
Yeah, we're just reporting what we see. God damn.
Yeah, people thought it was us that were telling everyone that they should hate it. No. We were just looking at Google Play Store reviews. It's okay, people. It's okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I got for our topics. Should we move? Should we move on?
Yeah, move into the trivia pit.
Yeah. The trivia pit. All right. It is trivia time on the DL show. 5 questions, 5 winners. We got Google Play credit for everyone today, just like we had last week. We will ask, if you're new to this, we will ask 5 questions. New winner for each question. We'll work with you after the show to make sure you get to those prizes. How it works though is we show a question on the screen. You hit the live chat. So if you're not listening to this live, obviously you could probably just turn off now if you want. If you are watching live, You have to be the first to answer. And Tim and I look at our screen, and whoever answers first is the winner. And you can't argue with us.
No,
It's pretty simple, though. We post a question, you answer in the chat. If you need to at this moment, drop that quality down, lower that latency, whatever you got to do to be able to type the answers out the quickest. Do what you got to do. We've heard some people go audio only because we do say the question out loud. And by the way, you should be doing that right now while I'm talking. I'm giving you a chance to get ready. Yes. That's kind of the gist of it.
And we wish everyone the best of luck, but there can only be 5 winners.
There can only be 5 winners. Oh, and you can only win once, so... If you do win, you can keep answering the next handful of questions, but you can only win one.
Yep.
Are you ready?
All the rules.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yes. Chat, are you ready?
Chat's ready. We aren't waiting for them.
No, we're not.
All right. Well, let's get it started with question number 1, please.
All right. Question number 1 going up now.
What date, including the year, did Google unveil the original Pixel and Pixel XL? Again, what date, including the year, did Google unveil the original Pixel and Pixel XL?
I've seen years. You want the full date? Oh, there we go.
There we go, Rashad. Rashad with the first full answer of October 4th, 2016.
October 4th, 2016, full date there. Rashad with another win. Rashad wins every week. Yeah,
he's a killer. A lot of other people could have won if they would have put the proper, like the whole date, including the year, but
they didn't. He didn't, people.
Come on, guys.
All right, Rashad. Rashad with the win.
Congratulations.
Well, we thought this was going to be the 3rd year that they were going to go October 4th, and then they changed it for some reason to October 9th, whatever.
I'm going to cut you, Google. All right. Question number 2, please.
Question number 2 going up now.
What's the max refresh rate the Razer Phone's display is capable of? Sort of
just talked about this one. Let's just see.
What's the max refresh rate the Razer Phone's display is capable of? Dan Perkins, I'm seeing in the chat with 120. Yep.
I got Dan Perkins as well.
Fantastic, Dan Perkins. Congratulations. Winner of some sweet Google Play credits.
Sweet Google Play credits.
Correct answer of 120 hertz.
120 hertz. 90.
That's pretty impressive. So you've never held one? Like you've never seen 120 hertz Android action?
Nope.
It's pretty dope.
I'm sure it's great.
Yeah. All right. Moving right along to question number 3, please.
All right. Question number 3 going up now.
What Android phone was the first to support NFC, near-field communication, in both hardware and software? Again, what Android phone was the first to support NFC, near-field communication, in both hardware and software? Oh my god, Nick Fisher with the quickness. Correct answer of the Nexus S.
That's right. How long ago was that?
That was a while ago.
That was at the time where the only thing you could really do was you could tap like these tag things. And I don't even know what those tag things did, to be honest, but that was what you could do. The tags. Because that was long before we had Android Pay. Google Wallet, I'm sorry, was what it was first called, right?
Yeah.
Nick Fisher, though.
There was no reason for NFC at the time.
No.
It didn't do much.
It did nothing, yeah. I still, again, don't know what the tag thing was all about. You just tap things. And they would it would add a tag to your phone. I don't know what. I still don't know what it was for.
Well, I think you'd stick them right on your desk, and then you're like, okay, I'm at my desk, and then the phone would maybe switch to certain settings or something.
Well, yeah, so eventually they added those things where you could tap and like turn on Wi-Fi and things like that. I know Samsung was pushing those because Samsung started trying to sell these
smart tiles or whatever those were.
Yeah, that's right, tiles. Something like that.
Alex in the chat with the 2 bomb. Thank you, Alex.
Alex, thank you so much for the $2. Y'all are crazy. Appreciate that.
Yep. Fantastic. Well, Nick Fisher, again, congratulations. Question number 4, please.
Question number 4 going up now.
What was the internal code name for Nexus 6P? Again, what was the internal code name for Nexus 6P? Oh, Eric.
Eric. That was quick. I had to look this one up because I couldn't remember because I get them mixed up.
The correct answer is Angler. Nexus 6P Angler. Eric Ortiz, congratulations. I know he's that guy's just a winner.
Yes. He's with the quickness. Angler, yeah. There's so many at this point. There's been so many Google phones over the years. I always have to look back to remember which was which.
True story.
Angler. Nexus 6P.
I have to Google all this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't keep this stuff in my data banks. I have to purge. Fantastic. All right, Eric Ortiz, congratulations. Let's final question. Question number 5.
All right, question number 5 up now.
Sony's Xperia is derived from what word? Again, Sony's Xperia is derived from what word? Chris Jennings with the winning answer of experience.
Makes sense.
It really does.
Chris Jennings with the win. Experience.
I thought it was something else when I thought of this.
You were surprised that it was experience.
I was. I thought it was. Oh, I thought it was like exceptional or extraordinary. That's what I thought it was. Extraordinary. Which is more like maybe the A at the end, like extraordinary, Xperia. I don't know, but so I figured it was extraordinary, but just experience. I mean, it makes sense, but
yeah,
I don't know.
All right, well, 5 winners: Rashad, Dan, Nick, Eric, and Chris. Drop in the email in the chat. Send me an email as quickly as you can. And
Alex is asking if we're possibly going to smoke joints like Elon Musk.
While it is legal here in Oregon, I don't think we're going to be doing that on air.
Nah.
Anyway, 5 winners. I just dropped an email in the chat. Shoot me an email. We'll get you Google Play credit today.
I'm trying to keep my stock up, not down.
Poor Tesla. Just
getting hurt,
crushed today. Yeah.
I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us on this little show. We're under an hour. It was the shortest show in a while. Felt good though. We just got in, got out, gave away some prizes. Thank you so much, Damien, John, Corbin, Alex, for the donations. Really, really, really appreciate that. Thanks so much for that support.
You guys are great.
You guys are great. Have you guys ever met in real life? You mean like me and Tim? Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, no, never. We lived in the same building at one point, like one floor apart from each other. We still do live in the same city. We travel often. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. They're in the same house. Yeah. It'd be funny if I could just like reach over, go tap right on the head. Hi. Yeah.
Definitely like 2 very different looking rooms, but yeah, that'd be cool.
They are. That's funny. All right. Well, so next week, Qualcomm has an event on Monday, which should be fun. Then we will probably do an Apple live blog. We haven't done a live blog in a while, but when Apple shows up, we live blog it. So we'll probably have a really fun Apple live blog because why not? Then after that, we're just waiting for Google to do their thing. And possibly OnePlus because we are looking forward to that. So now there's a Droid Life conspiracy.
I love it.
All the conspiracies. All right. Thanks for joining, everyone. Again, thanks for the donations. Everyone who did donate. That's very, 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 very kind. Appreciate that. We're Droid Life. Peace.
Peace.